Hi everyone. So in the last class, we have seen about how this the what is the JDBC technology, JDBC API driver works, what is a driver manager, and what is the drivers, and how this JDBC refers to the API. So we have discussed, and we haven't created the tables in the SQL place. So today we have to be see how to create the table. So let me create these two tables today. First one is department table and second one is EMP table. So for that, first we have to be open our SQL plus. So we have opened it, and as you have seen last time how to download it is by default you will be getting the SQL plus once you download this Oracle SQL database server, right? So here by default our username would be system username, and password like whatever you have given tiger or admin you can type it. Okay, so today we have to be uh, see like how to create the table with a simple three columns. That would be a department table. So let me create this first. Create the table with the columns: department name, d name, and location, only with these three columns. So how to do that? So we have to be okay, create the table first. Create table. uh, Instead of writing entire thing, I'll just use the shortcut dpt department. And what are the first column would be in the department number. So department number is the first column, and I will take it as a number, and 5. So let me take this as a primary key, and the second column would be our d name, department name. So what would d name? I'll just take it as a d name. It is a work at 2, so I'll give it as a 20. Size would be 20, and the last column would be our department location. So I'll just take loc. So it is again work at, and I'll give it the same length as 20. Okay, so I have created the department table, and just click on the enter, so it will get created the table. Now my first table is created. I'll go to the next employee table. So for that also same thing you have to do: create table. Just use the shortcut if you comfortable. And in the employee table, I'll take this employee number, employee name, salary, hire date, and department. So I'll be taking these four columns. So for this, my first column would be employee number, emp number. So it would be easier to use in the shortcuts number. So I'll take it as 8, and let me take this a primary key, primary key, and the second column would be name. It is a worker. How much the length? I'll take it as again 20, and my third column would be employee number, name, and salary. So SA, which is nothing but the salary. Work salary would be number 9 comma 2, as it is a decimal digit set, so you have to be take like this or as your wish. So this is my fourth column, salary, which I taken as a number, and so three column system. Fifth column would be hire date. employee joining date is nothing but the hire date, so you have to be take this as a data type would be date, hire date. And what is my fifth column? It is nothing but the department number, department NO, which is nothing but the department number. So data type would be number, and i'll I'll take it as a 5. Why I am taking 5? Because here we have taken the 8, right? So department number, when we are giving the reference, then it should be a lesser than that or equal to that. So that's why I have taken the 5. It is equal, department number and department number, when we are giving the references, right? So I have to be give the reference here, department number 5, references. What is my department table name? Department number. All right. Yes. So here I have created my how many columns? 5 columns. First one is EMP number, employee name, salary, hire date, and department number. Okay, so I have created the two tables. After the creation of the two tables, what I have to do? I have to be insert the values. Okay, so for inserting the values, what we have to be do? Insert. We have to be write the. Okay, let me just write it. Insert. First, I will going to be insert into the department. What department? Rows. So there are 3 columns, right? Insert into department. DEPT. What are my values? So first one is nothing but the department number. So I'll take it as a 10. And department name would be accounting. And city or location, anything you can give it as a Hyderabad or anything. So I have given here. Okay, insert into department DPT values. What are my values? 3 columns, department number, D name, and location. So I have given the value. So instead of writing it manually, you just copy and paste it. So it would be easier and first time saving. Okay, so my second row would be department number. I'll give it as a 20, and department name would be sales, and city or location would be anything you can give it. So let me take it as a Tennessee. Then again one row is created. If you want, you can insert more rows. So I'll just go ahead with the only 3 rows, as it takes more time. Right. So what would be my department name here? I'll give it as a marketing, and location would be Texas. Yes. So I have created the 3 rows successfully. So, and I have created the 3 rows. Now I want to store this data permanently. So after inserting the values, when we want to store the data permanently, which one we have to be used to store the data permanently? We have to be using keyword, which is nothing but the commit, right? So you have to be using commit to stay store it in the permanently, because the data is not stored permanently, so you have to be give the commit. Okay, so the commit is completed. Now you can see whether the data is stored. So select star from dpt, select star from dept. Here you got it, right? Oh. So three columns would be there: department number, day name, and location. Now I'm going to be insert. I have created two tables, right? So my second table would be employee. So here I need to be insert the values, insert values into employee table, which is nothing but the EMP. Insert into insert into what is my table name? EMP values. Okay, so what are the columns here? Employee name, e-name, and salary, hire date, department number. So these are the five columns. So first one would be employee number. That's okay if you don't remember this, the columns in the order wise, but still we can write it like this. So I'll take it as a 7181, and name I'll take it as a Scott. And what is this one? E-name, salary. Okay, salary I'll take it as it is a decimal value 6,000, comma. What is higher date? Next, 23. So we have to be use the higher date in such a manner, like you can use it to 1000, or you just give 1981. Like this also you can use the date format. So what is the department number, which is number 5 I have given, right? So I'll take it as a 10. Okay, so insert into which table? EMP values, uh, 7181, name would be Scott, and salary would be 6,000, and date would be 23 April 1981, and 10. Right, so one row is created. To save this time, just copy this and paste it here. So what would be the second? So it is easy for us to going back and checking all these columns, and coming back and writing it again. So you have to be just copy paste. It would be easier for you. So I'll take it as a names, king, and here the number would be 7201. You can take anything, and salary would be 5,000. A date you can take anything, 2nd February, 2nd February, and year would be 2004, and department number would be 20. So one row is successfully created. Then let's go to the third row. So I'll take it as a 7969, and the employee name would be Miller, and salary I will take it as a 7,000, and higher date November, something we have to take, and so I'll take it as a 2014, and department number would be nothing but 20. Yes, so let me create the another row. 7054 I'll take, and I'll take it as a name Ellen, and salary would be 4,000, date 27th August I have taken 14, so I'll take now 16. And department would be, I'm not given 30, so I'll take 30. Okay, so what mistake I had done here? Somewhere I, okay, no problem. So I'll take it as another one. The same thing, insert into the values. So let me create another value. So to save us the time being, yeah, and done. So I'm not missing any comma or apostrophe. So let me take this. So one row is created. I'll take the another row. Okay, so I'll take it as a 7378 and name what I'll take. Okay, so Warner, and salary would be 4,900, and the higher date will be 9th December. Okay, so let it go. 81. I have taken. So how many rows I have created? I have created the 5 rows successfully. Now I have to be check the table the with the rows which are inserted. So for that we have to be do this select star from which table? EMP. Okay, so I have created the 5 rows. Now what I have to be do? I have to be save this data permanently. For that we have to be use the commit to get it save the data. Otherwise it will store the temporarily. There is no use. So once we close this, it will go. Everything will go. Once if we do the commit, then it will store the data permanently. Okay, so commit is completed. Now I want to see the highest salary in the EMP table. Okay, who is getting the highest salary from the employee details. So of course it is getting who is getting Miller is 7,000, right? So I want to display like who is getting the highest salary. So for that, how you will write the query? Select e-name from, okay, my table name EMP. uh, Last class I have already explained how the inner query and outer query will execute. The same logic we are going to be apply here first. Okay, where salary, so I want to get the salary, highest salary, who is getting the highest salary? Miller, right? So I want to get it displayed. So select, so this is nothing but the inner salary, and we are using the aggregate function, which is nothing but the max were to get the highest salary, right? So here I wrote from which table? From EMP. Okay, so here select e name, e name, who is the name of the person who is getting the highest salary. Okay, so this is my inner query, and that is my high outer query, right? So you have to be click the enter. select ename from select. Okay, select ename from emp where salary. Okay, so let me just instead, because we have write the query but we have mentioned it star, right? So I'm getting only one person, so that's why we have to be mention it equal to, then it will work. Select ename from emp where salary is equal to select max of salary, maximum salary from the table emp, right? So now it will work. Select ename, the employee number, employee name, who is the employee who is getting the highest salary here. So who is getting the highest salary? Miller, right? And I want to get salary as well as name, both the columns I want to get. So for that, how we have to be write the query? We have to be write like this: select ename, or you can just copy and paste it. Okay, select ename, right here. Select ename from the emp where salary is equal to inner query salary max of salary from emp. So ename, and I want to get it display the another column which is nothing but the salary. Okay, select ename and salary from emp where salary is equal to maximum salary of employee, right? I want both the columns, salary as well as what is the salary 7,000 as well as the name Miller. So I got both the things, right? E-name and salary. So this is how you have to be practice the tables, how the reference keyword will work, and how the primary keyword will work, and how to get the highest salary. So you can practice it. So till then we can go to our JDBC introduction. Okay, so so we have seen how to insert sample records in both the tables, and now we have to be discuss the JDBC. What is the JDBC? Introduction for the JDBC. Before going to that, so okay, controlling. So tell me, tell me, do you have you already aware of this? Like, where do we store the data? So where do we store the data? So we can store the data in a database, or we can store the data in database files or clouds, or server, might be we will store in all these places, right? Where, so these are the answers that that we have discussed, like we can store the data. So this is our assumption, but if you take an example, okay, so my example is, this is int x. Okay, and what is the x value is, x is equal to 50. Let's suppose assume this. So x is equal to 50. So it is a value, or you can call it as a variable. So where we store it in variable, right? In variable x. So this is the variable that where we have to store. X is the memory location given to the variable to store the value. So x is the memory location and given the value of 50 to store the value. So we have learned the subject, like we have to be memorize it for a long time. So what is the memory, and how do we store it, where it is, and what do we call the value which we are going to be stored, the variables, right? So we have to be memorize it. If tomorrow if somebody comes, then it is that we should not go and refer again, so we have to be remember. So 50 is the data storing in X location. Okay, 50 is the data. In this data, we are going to be store it in X memory, right? Its name given to the memory location. So X, the in the memory location X, where there is a X compartment, that where we are storing the value of 50. Okay. In so if you want, I can take it as a draw, so how it looks like, right? And so suppose int, so this is a int X, how it so if I show this in the diagrammatic manner, so it would be easier for you to understand, because as we have already seen this. So let me take this. Okay, so this is the memory location and my value, so here X, and what is the value I'm going to be stored in this 50. Okay, so here I have stored the variable, so this is the memory location and variable 50 is stored in this one. Okay, now only there is a way that we have to be store the values in the variable, where we can store the data in variables. In where we have to be store the data, the answer for this question is we have to be store the data as in the form of variables. So we can also, there is not only the variables, but we can also store this data in objects. Objects is a memory, so here it is a object, right? So let me show this again in the diagrammatic manner. Okay, so we can store this data in the object. Object is nothing but the memory. So what are the objects comes under, like just now we have discussed in the employee table, right? E-name, salary, location, hire date, all this data will be in the memory. These are nothing but the objects. Okay, in one class we have many number of, we can create the number of objects, right? So what are the objects? E-name, salary, location. So these are nothing but the objects. If we don't know the exactly order of the table, we can use the table name, as just now I showed you, right? In SQL place, same thing, because it happens sometimes, we don't remember, but we know how many columns are there in that. So order is not mandatory, so we can still go ahead and do. But when we don't know the columns order, so we can use it, the columns, like first the e-name or the hire date or the um, like location, right? So we have seen like a higher salary, how to get the highest salary. And so now how this object, let me just take it in the how this, because we have already seen how this, the object means it looks like in the, like in the circle manner, right? So these are nothing but the first object. Okay. Okay, so here the first object name is employee number, and what is the second object? E-name. Okay, so okay, let it be. Doesn't come. What? It will not. It's not coming. Okay, why it's not working? So let it be. Okay, so let me do this. It would be okay. E-name. Okay, so this would be just assume that as it is not working. I don't know what exactly happened to this one. So let's assume this is a salary, right? It has to be work. So it is nothing but the salary. Okay. And here the data I'm storing, I can store this. Okay, let it be. So I have given something the value here 121, and I think every time I need to do this to get this value printed. Okay, so Anil, salary is nothing but I'll give this as a 6,000, and what is the name? Sometimes it annoys so much. Okay, so still it's what's wrong? Okay, yeah. So I have given the this is my object, and this is my, so I have stored some values in the objects as a form of the objects. So what would be the object name? So we you have seen already, we have a class employee, and there are two types of constructors, default and parameterized constructor, right? How you will define. So let me just make it clear understanding for this one. Okay, so we have two types of constructor, and how you will create an object for the class employee. So you will create the object like this, right? E1 is equal to new employee of, how, what is the value we have given? 121, right? 121, and name we have given a name, we have given capital letter, right? And salary we have given as a 6,000. So this is the data we have given for to create the E1 object. So how it does work? If it is a E1, right? So here the object value going to be stored in this format. E1 object, what are the parameters we have passed? So we have created the object and we have passed the parameters. So we have stored, we are creating an object for the memory location inside the object. So data can be stored in, like, in the form of variables. Okay, so in the form of these variables and in the form of the objects in our Java application. So it is a permanent or temporary data whenever the scope of the variable is completed. Here, whenever the scope of the variable is completed, then we are going to be lose the data if we don't store it, right? Whenever the scope of the object is completed, um, we will lose the variables. So what happens, the garbage collector will come and collect the objects, right? So that, so to avoid that, we have to be store it like permanently, right? In Java application, data can be exist in the form of variables and objects. So what is the raw data, like, as you can see, the data we are storing x or y z, anything like you have stored somewhere. So is it a permanent or the temporary data? Temporary data I want to use in the future. So it would be obviously permanent data if we want to store it and use it. Then let me give one example. So we have to be store the data in the future. For future reference, we have to be use make the data as a permanent. So let me take this an example so you can understand. I came to my institute for an inquiry. Okay, what I will do, I will take the details like name, contact number, etc., right? Address might not need it, so I'll take some details for the future reference. Like if you want to join the classes, so um, I will send the updates or the notifications to you whenever the class is started. On that time we have to be send the message, right? So for that purpose, I'll take the details. I'll give you the form and I'll ask you to enter the details for my future reference in that form, right? Again, later on, what I'll do, whatever the data you have given in that form, I'll enter it in the my system to store in my database to use it in the future reference purpose, right? What if you came and you have given the details, I given you form and you have entered the details. What I did after you left, I threw it in the dustbin because I am a aggressive, I'm a very angry girl, right? So do you think it's a temporary data or the permanent data? It's a temporary because what I did, I just threw it in the dustbin, so it cannot be a permanent one, it should be a temporary. So how to make the data permanently, where we store it? So we have the two options. So in this two options, okay, in the form of the two options, like we have the two things if we want to store the data permanently. So first thing is files. Okay, you open a file and suppose like if you open any file, like it would be a notepad or something, so you have typed the program and tomorrow you came and check is there in the files that you have typed the program. Okay, you will open the notepad and you can, if you want to run, then you have to be open it and run, so the data, the program is still there, right? Not only in this notepad, but you can use take any software that the data is storing, we are storing in the form of files. Okay, so we have write the program and saved, so that is nothing but the one files, and second one is database, right? First one is file and second one is database. Okay, so we have to be store it in the form of two. So if you want, I had just given the example, so I'll write it so you can easy to remember for you. So data in Java program, it to look more good. Okay, so data in Java program can exist in variables and objects, right? Can exist in variables, data. Okay, there are two ways data can be exist, either in the variables or the objects, and exist in variables and objects is a temporary data or permanent data. Temporary data, right? So and objects is nothing but the temporary data. It is nothing but the temporary data, which means whenever the scope of that, which means scope of that variable or object is completed, then we lose the data, right? The scope of that variable or object is finished, is completed, then there is a chances that we can lose the data. Then so these are the important points today we have discussed in SQL, how to create the tables and how to insert the values and how to write execute the queries. Okay, so in the coming classes we can see more how to create the tables and data and the technologies that we have to be used in JDBC. Okay, so to use the data in the future reference, or how we have to be use it in the permanent memory, which is nothing but the files or database, right? So let me just quickly write this. In future reference, what we have to do, we have to store it we have to store it where in a permanent permanent memory, right? In a permanent memory. So where we have to store in the form of files and database. So first one is file or database. Okay, so today we have just discussed, and tomorrow we can see more. Right. So bye everyone. Thank you.